We are back with our NFL DFS picks for this slate, and we are laser focused on why these plays make sense for both cash and tournaments. Let's start at quarterback. We're building around Drake May at 7,100 with a dash rank of 100, projected for 17 points. Miami have one of the worst defenses overall based on the opponent rank of 20, and May's recent form is elite with 32, 29, and 22 fantasy points in his last three. The value comes from the gap between his 22 fantasy points per game and the modest projection, and the ceiling is real. Multiple outlets highlighted his Week 17 eruption, with Essentially Sports citing a 999.8 QBR, and that he surpassed Tom Brady in a historic Patriots win. That combination of recent dominance, favorable overall matchup, and palatable salary makes him our top QB. For a salary saver at quarterback, we can look to Chris Oladokun at 4,500. Las Vegas have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 18. The case here is simple: extreme salary relief and a path to lineup construction that pays up at premium spots. He looked good in his first NFL start according to reports and posted 8 and 5 fantasy points in his last two. So we're treating him as a punt QB for large field tournaments when we want the studs elsewhere. Moving to running back, Bijan Robinson at 8,700 is a priority spend with a dash rank of 100 and a projection of 18. New Orleans have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 12. Bijan's recent production is exactly what we pay for: 37, 30, and 31 fantasy points in his last 3 and 24 per game on the season. The price aligns with the role and form, and the news cycle is bullish too, with multiple pieces framing him among the best backs in the league this season. Even if the opponent is not a total pushover, the floor-ceiling combo is elite. James Cook fits as a premium flex or RB2 at 7,900 with a dash rank of 100 and a 14-point projection. The Jets have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank at 29, and Cook's 21 fantasy points per game with recent spikes of 29 and 34 show slate-breaking upside. The narrative is strong as well. The Bills' ground game has largely run through Cook per recent coverage, and he's getting public praise for his impact on the RB market from peers like Saquon Barkley. With a favorable overall matchup, Cook brings both stability and a ceiling that wins tournaments. Deep value at running back would be Raheem Sanders at 4,700. Cincinnati have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 30. He profiles as a punt to unlock studs elsewhere. The floor is thin with recent 4 and 6 fantasy points, so we'd reserve him for large field lineups where salary flexibility is the priority, and we're betting on the favorable overall matchup to buoy efficiency. At wide receiver, we are paying up for Puka Nacua at $9,000 with a dash rank of 100 and a projection of 17. Arizona have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 26, and Puka's season-long 25 fantasy points per game speaks for itself. The recent game log shows volatility with 6, 50, and 31, which is perfect for tournaments. News context also supports the ceiling. He just posted 12 receptions for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns in Week 16, as widely reported, even while dealing with off-field noise about fines. The matchup plus proven 40-plus ceiling keeps him in our core. We'll balance that with value in Darius Slayton at 4,100. Dallas have the absolute worst defense overall by opponent rank at 32, so the matchup is as good as it gets. Slayton's form isn't flashy with 6, 2, and 9 recently and 7 per game. But this salary gives us access to a route runner who can capitalize on the elite overall matchup. He's a viable salary saver who lets us jam a premium QBWR or RB build. Tight end brings a perfect mid-range anchor in Dallas Goedert at 4,000. Washington have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31, and Goedert's 13 fantasy points per game with recent outputs of 10, 12, and 25 give us a solid floor and tournament ceiling at low risk. The environment helps too. Pro Football Focus ranked the Eagles' pass-catching unit number 1 heading into camp per recent reporting, and that depth forces single coverage and red zone leverage. The salary is friendly, and the matchup is favorable. For a true punt, Austin Hooper at 2,500 is an easy correlation with Drake May. Miami have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 20. Hooper has produced 9 and 5 in his last 2, which is enough to pay off the bare min's salary. If we're stacking May, Hooper offers leverage without a major salary commitment. If we need another TE and are comfortable with volatility, David Njoku at 3,000 is worth monitoring. He's questionable, and Cincinnati have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 30. The appeal is purely price and matchup leverage, plus the possibility that a rookie-led Browns offense funnels short throws to the tight end as suggested by recent coverage around their quarterback situation. We'll keep an eye on status. If active, he's a punt with path to volume. Defense is straightforward. The Jaguars' defense at 4,000 sits on a dash rank of 100 with 6 projected points and draws Tennessee, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 29. We like paying up when the slate offers uncertainty at skill positions because defensive variance can swing contests, and Jacksonville has shown they can capitalize when game scripts tilt. For savings, the Browns' defense at 2,400 comes with a dash rank of 100 and meets Cincinnati, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 26. Recent outputs of 9-2 and 2 illustrate the volatility. But at this salary, we are buying the chance at sacks and turnovers and using the savings to upgrade elsewhere. To recap our core with the why behind it, Drake May's elite recent form and a favorable overall matchup backed by news of a historic QBR. Bijan Robinson's sustained dominance, regardless of opponent, with corroborating league-wide praise. Puka Nakua's proven slate-breaking ceiling in one of the best overall matchups. Dallas Goedert's strong environment and favorable overall matchup at a fair salary. And James Cook's role and recent spikes backed by reporting that Buffalo's run game runs through him. For value, Chris Oladokun, Darius Slayton, Austin Hooper, and the Browns' defense let us afford that core while maintaining correlation and ceiling.